there's different ways of doing it, and when I started the business, I told Elijah, I said I want to learn something from every single transaction. And ideally that was ones that closed, but sometimes you learn more from one that doesn't close than one that does.
That's true.
Okay? But guys, if you learn, it wasn't a loss. Alright? So they sting, but if you learn something, then you didn't lose. You're gonna have something, you know, to take with you to grow you as an agent. And so I don't know how you guys are doing it now, but I'm gonna show you after doing, like Elijah said, hundreds, literally hundreds, if not thousands of offers and signings, definitely thousands of signings, but how I package it. So this is transaction desk. You're all familiar with that, I presume. So when I go to transaction desk, I can come in here and I can, let's see, I'm gonna think about one of the first deals I did. And let me see if it shows up. Transaction desk has changed some things over the years. No, it doesn't show up, so, but you can go back. So any deal that I've done for years, okay? The way that I'm gonna show you how to do it is gonna package all your signings into one place. All right, all your documents that you save for signings, all in one place, and you'll be able to go back for a long time, okay? And so, let's look at, let me put one out here. Cummins Mill Road. All right, so see, when I come in here, here's all the documents that have been signed at one point or loaded into this transaction. Okay? And so they're all still there. I can come back and I can find them. Here's documents that have been worked up and then most of them usually taken to signing, but they're right here. And then here's the different signings that took place. It's all packaged together. It's all in one spot. It's not, you know, if I gotta go back and find a document, I don't have to search through a bunch of just random documents from 20 different transactions. I go here and it's all within this house and kind of houses it in one place, okay? And so, so this is what I do. So Joe, you wanna offer on that house on Thomas Twin Oak? Yeah, I do. That's the best one we've seen, Duke, and we want it. You know, the wife, she wants to get in there. Okay, well Joe, I sent you over an offer template, an offer email, where if you fill out those details, then it'll be ready to go. And I didn't pull that up, but let's see. I can send this to you guys if you want. Dwayne, did I send this to you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was something that wrote down kind of what you do and everything. And we did get
I've
that
sent
printed
this
out.
out before.
Mhm. The documents and the lines and everything.
Let me rephrase it, if you did send it to me, I don't.
I think you printed it out for us and we tweaked it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, but they have that,
Mhm.
okay, well, so, but that's, I send it out, and once they fill that out, I have what I need. And so, it just puts it all together, makes it one and done, and, I mean, I can stand there and do it on car hood too, if I need to, but I send that over, they fill it out, and, I'm finishing up on an appointment, but I have what I need when I get done to write it up. So you got all the information, and you're gonna go write an offer on 6572 Thomas Twin Oak, the paper that's in front of you, okay? Either or, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two from what I saw. I checked this one out a while back. This is what I know, and the steps that they changed didn't seem more efficient to me, and that's what I'm all about. And so I've stayed with the older version, okay? So I always label everything with what I do in real estate with every correspondence, I mean, not text messages, but any email I send that has to do with a property, I put the property address first. You're automatically filing your email. Your email is a filing system at that point, okay? And so I'll put in the address. Okay, and I don't usually put the city. I'll put the city if it's like Main Street, you know, where it could be confused with one town or another. So, all right, when I get here, I just hit R. This is residential sale, okay? And I'll do that for all of them, land and all. And so I'll go here and I'll hit U for UCAR, and it pops up. Okay, you can do the drop down and hunt through them if you want to. And then residential, that's what it is. If it's not, you'll change it to, you hit L and go to lots and lands, okay? It's residential. And then here, and you put in the MLS number, which is 241061. And then I don't use the wizard. You can play with that if you want to, but, and then everybody understands the selling agent is the buyer's agent, because it's confusing. I would have thought selling agent was a list agent, but it's not, because there's list agent.
They've changed it on the purchase and sales, but they've not changed it on here yet.
What's it saying on purchase and sales now?
Buyer's agent.
Okay, I mean, it just makes too much sense to not call it that.
Mm-hmm.
So the selling agent is, the buyer's agent. And then create. There's a couple ways you can go about it from here, okay? So now you're within this house, which is Thomas Twin Oaks, which is a transaction, okay? It pulls all the transactions together. You can go through here, and you can input some stuff through here, and closing dates and details like that. I don't fool with that, okay, guys? I just go to dashboard, and I go over here, and I start adding forms. So what's some of the documents that we have to write an offer?
PSA,
PSA, what else?
wire fraud,
Wire fraud, okay.
disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Representation.
Buyer rep, we're gonna say we already got that out of the way for this one, okay. What else? Wire fraud, disclaimer, and PSA, that's all it said, okay.
Confirmation?
Yes,
Property condition.
property condition, okay, and then potentially lead-based paint. This is a brand new home, so we won't need it today.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we go to 2026, I don't know why they leave those old forms on there, and I start scrolling through, and basically, I look for the disclaimer, that's usually the first one I get to. The confirmation, where will we get it from?
Listing.
The listing, right, and we'll do that as well, so I click on it, gives it a check mark, wire frauds, real close here, purchase and sales, real close here, that's all we're gonna get from here. The confirmation of agency, the property condition disclosure, they'll be found within the listing itself from Navica, okay? So we add it. I'm gonna go ahead and get all my docs loaded. So those 3 docs are loaded now, ready to fill out and sign. I'm gonna go here for well, not yet, okay. So we still need the COA and the property condition, so I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna click on COA. I'm gonna go here to print. I'm gonna save it. Okay, instead of printing it, I'm gonna save. And I'm going to do what? How am I gonna label this?
Address.
It's not hard, right? 6972. And look, it's gonna, Thomas Twin Oaks. I've already done this, okay, so don't have to go through these steps, but I'm gonna show you. So Thomas Twin Oak, COA, right? And then here we got Thomas Twin Oak, property condition disclosure. And you do the same thing on both, all right? Then you hit save. I save most of my stuff in my documents. I'm gonna cancel this because I've already got it. You got that now, okay? And so a lot of times I'll leave this page open because I may need to go back and try to remember how to write or make sure I spell the seller's name right. And so if you need to know how, because you can't always go by CRS, sometimes it's not updated, sometimes it may be wrong, but here the seller has put their own name a lot of times, and you may not be able to read it when they sign, but it should be listed correctly by the agent here. So I'll leave that open just in case whenever I'm doing an offer. And so I go back here and I'm gonna add, these are documents. Forms are what is being supplied via the TAR forms. Okay, documents is what's being supplied by the agent or in other places. And so I drag and drop, but I come here and I can do this. That's all I gotta put in. And then the property condition, and then the COA. All right. So now I officially have all the documentation I need, right? Buyer rep's already done, because I was showing a property. And so then I'll go here and I'll start filling out the PSA.
It's so different how they word it from forms and documents. You know, that's confusing.
Yeah. Alright guys, so just a tip as far as filling this out. Whenever I was newer in the business, I used a method that I don't necessarily use now, but I still do some. And that is, let's see. See how I'm doing it? This is the method that I would use. Why would I use this method to tab through? It goes to each one, right? When I'm new, I still hadn't learned exactly what I need to fill out, and it was easy for me to if I do this, and it doesn't take that long, you know, so, you know, 3-bed or whatever, okay, and so, see like that, now I don't normally put anything in there, right, because,
You tab through
now-
that, auto-filled all of it?
huh?
Just tabbing through that, auto-filled it
I
all?
tabbed through every, that's what I would do when I was a newer agent, I would tab through every bit of it, so I didn't miss anything.
But that auto-filled it?
No, it didn't auto-fill, it just, it made me look at every blank,
Yeah.
okay, and it helped me learn the contract as well, or the offer paperwork, and then the contract unless they sign it, so. The garage door openers used to, it's standard to get 2, but now, even brand new homes, they're just doing 1 a lot of times, so, and I've had to be an issue, so I don't fill that out. I'm not gonna let a garage door opener, cause me a problem with a $400,000 transaction, so, and if it does, I'll buy it. I did that before. Alright, and so I'm tabbing through, right, so now it's like, okay, I didn't miss this box because I tabbed right to it and I'm looking at it. Alright, you don't wanna, I got an offer, not that long ago, and the agent put nothing in what the items were to remain. Didn't even fill it out. They don't know if she missed it, don't know if she cared. But if you tab through it, that's gonna help you in the process, okay? So, if somebody would come along and offer us $435,000, we'll sell it, okay? Just so y'all know,
Boom.
cause this is active on the market,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll take any one of those loan types as well. So anyway, you get down through it, you get everything filled out, alright, and now you're going to Authentisign. Sign. You see that up there in the right hand corner?
Mm-hmm.
You can go to Authentisign, you get here, and you add, I'm gonna add myself, I don't save it because it's as simple as that if I need to add myself again, okay? So do that. Alright, I'm gonna add another participant. Okay, I should have selected that, so I'm gonna add new, okay? If they're not in there in this system yet, you'll have to add new, okay? They may be in Follow Up Boss, and that's what you'll do, you'll go to Follow Up Boss, and you click on it, and you'll just, after you put their name in, you'll copy their email, put it in, and set them up as the buyer, so, let's see. Okay. You just fill this out, it's real simple, self-explanatory, okay? And then I'm gonna save, I'm not gonna save to my contact list, cause I'm probably already in there, but I'm gonna add it to the transaction, okay? And so when I do that, and I go back for another signing, I'm not loading that person again. Sometimes you got 3 signers on something, but if you got 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter, you go back in, it'll be there. So when you go to another signing, all you gotta do is add some contacts. And you click, and they're ready to sign, okay? So you've got the agent, you got the buyer, and now you're gonna go to docs. How many documents do I have in here?
3, didn't
I just got one right here though, right? So we're gonna add them in. And that's as simple as it is. You've already loaded them, so now you got it added in. I'm not gonna sign any signature blocks. It usually does it anyway if it's gonna do it. Now, does the order of these matter?
From a listing agent perspective, that I'd like to see the purchase and sales pretty quick.
You would, right? But on the buyer side, between you and your client, it's not about the listing agent.
Got it.
It's about legalities and it's about disclosure.
Oh, okay, so I got you.
Yeah,
So you can
makes
put that
sense.
T in resin there first.
Well, buyer rep first, right? So if I hadn't signed it yet, not that I would do that, okay?
Mhm,
If I haven't signed it yet, it would be number 1,
right,
because that has to be in place to establish the next one. What would be the next one?
T in resin.
It would be the the confirmation of agency. Okay? So, because
I'm
one
gonna get this right.
institution,
Let me get long enough.
it would be like when I was teaching Sunday school, I used to have one student who always say Jesus for every question. Jesus, sometimes it was right. But, so the buyer rep establishes it, the confirmation shows it to all parties involved. And so, it's supposed to be a big deal to make sure everybody knows who's representing who, okay? So that's what that's for, that establishes that. And then, yes, the property condition disclosure is what I would put next. That's making sure that they see what the seller's supposed to have said about that property before they write an offer on it. Make sense? It's like, oh, sign the offer for this. So like today, I'm updating an offer for a multiple offer situation, and we've already sent in the offer, and then the day, yesterday, 2 or 3 days after we submitted the offer, the listing agent sends me the septic doc disclosure. It's a 2-bedroom for a 4-bedroom house.
Oh, wow.
And so the wife is now beginning to have feelings towards the listing agent that she maybe is slimy, or maybe is holding off on disclosing that, you know, until a later time. And what she's also doing is getting her emotions involved, and maybe gonna allow something to mess her up
Right,
that shouldn't.
shouldn't.
And so, if I wasn't in this meeting right now, I'd be sending her a message saying, listen, let's just look at the facts, you know, whether there's a good agent or a bad agent. Let's not let that mess us up on the go here, and that is to get you guys a great place to live.
Mhm.
So, but these things, I mean, these matter to get these things done when they should be done.
5-star.
Yes. Yeah, cause it, like I said, it matters. But, so you've established an agency relationship with your buyer. Now you're establishing in this transaction, in this offer process, your agency relationship with the listing agent, okay? And then the property condition disclosure comes next, cause now they see the things that they're supposed to be required to see. If that's not available, I've even put in, special stipulations contingent upon,
Review of it.
satisfactory review of the property condition disclosure.
Mhm.
Why? Because it matters. They come across and they say something and you don't have an avenue for your client to be protected because they didn't see something they were supposed to, and then, and it says something that is a problem. I mean, that's a problem if it's got 2 bedrooms, I mean, it's got a 4-bedroom house and 2-bedroom septic if I'm moving into it. Right? They got 6 kids. For them, I told them, for functionality, it's not a problem. It's just a man and a woman. You know, so they could have somebody else move in with them and still not have a problem.
So
So,
are you saying that you would attach the buyer's rep to this?
huh?
You would attach the buyer's rep?
Yes, if I hadn't already done it, I would already have this loaded and I'd sign it all at one time. If I hadn't done
If
it
it's
already.
not being
It should be,
signed.
yeah, it should be done already. But yeah, I wouldn't have it re-signed or anything like that. It's-
I was asking, you don't have to attach it with all this, that's what I was meaning.
If you already got it
I would put it
signed,
in a signing, but when I send it over, I would cut it out.
Yeah.
So when I send this over, because I don't want that listing agent to have to peruse through anything that they don't need, because I want my offer to come over and I don't want any questions asked. I don't want any fat to have to run through or any muddy water. And so I'm gonna cut all that out, I'm gonna make it neat and clean. You know what I did for this last agent? I did a summary for them. I don't always do that. Other offers were coming in, and so I summarized and put all the main points. So all she had to do was copy and paste and send to her client.
It's good.
I made it easy for her.
Mhm.
I did what I would want somebody to do for me if I was an agent having multiple offer situation. Okay, why? Because I like doing that?
No.
No, not a bit, right? I can't remember what time of night it was when I was doing it and all that stuff, but I promise you I had a kid that was crawling on my back or asking me to do something. And so, but it's not about us, right? So this morning,
Yeah, the disclosure is
the
what.
property condition disclosure tells you about the house. The disclaimer is about your agent. Somebody help him out.
I am not a surveyor. I am not a home inspector.
I don't know who
I
lives in
am
the
not.
neighborhood. It's not my job.
Don't
Yeah.
know if this, I can't tell you if this thing floods. So see,
Mhm.
do agents ever overspeak their qualifications?
Mhm.
Yeah, some of them do when they just say hi, okay? But, what it does is if the agent has overspoken and the buyer actually looks at this document, which they normally don't, they'll see, oh wait, he acted like he was qualified, but he's really not. Okay, so this is, when I present this to folks, if I go over it with them, I tell them, listen, this tells you everything I don't know. I'm not a surveyor, I'm not a specialist with the boundary lines, I can, help have you an idea, but, I'm not a surveyor, I'm not a zoning specialist. I can point you to the right people, but I'm certified, I'm licensed to help you in the process of buying this home, okay? So that goes before the person sells, because if you've overstated some things, and now they're signing due to that, you should have disclosed first that you're not specialized or licensed and certified in those areas, okay? So that's why that goes there. There's a rhyme and reason to these things, it's not just because to complicate it, but, and then you have the purchase and sales. The wire fraud is a required document but it can go wherever, so I stick it at the end, okay? Lead-based paint should probably go in front of purchase and sales as well, a lot of times I'll stick it there towards the end. But it's, you know, it's important for them to know also that could potentially have lead in the house before they sign an offer on it.
About like, HA or VA addendum, would you want that after?
I would put that behind the purchase and sales, good question. And a lot of, I've learned being on the listing side, that a lot of agents don't know how to fill that out. Time's sake, we could look at that, but it's not that hard, but,
But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know how to fill it out. I
Yeah.
mean, you're right, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't know how to fill that out.
we'll pull one, so we're
Well,
on.
but I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, what you're saying is very true,
Yeah.
though. There's a lot of people, and your order is important. Man, I'll tell you, I've learned a lot just sitting here.
Yeah.
You know, you really do, you think that some of this stuff just kinda comes natural, but there is a very natural progression to how you're to present.
Yeah,
you
I mean, it
present.
makes sense, but if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, you don't know.
You know, if you don't know, you don't know, and so I don't, if you know something more than somebody else, it just means somebody else told you.
Mm-hmm,
So there's nothing to be arrogant about,
mm-hmm.
right? It's just, somebody else told you and that person hadn't been told. There's things every one of us know that the other one doesn't. So anybody can sit in the teacher's seat, it just depends on what the class is about.
That's good.
Okay, so there's that, all right? So we're ready,
Dude, can you review those all together one more time, just so we all hear it?
just the order and the
Just, yeah,
details.
start from the front, maybe one quick sentence if you feel
Yeah.
like you need it, but just so we all hear it, because I think this is amazing.
Okay, buyer rep first, establishing that agreement with your buyer. The COA next, confirmation of agency, you're confirming what your status is with that client,
And who's representing who?
who's representing who. You're now taking the relationship that you established and you're telling the listing agent and the people that are partnered to this transaction, the seller, what your relationship is, okay? And then the property condition disclosure, your buyer is seeing the details that the seller is required to tell about the home. It may be an exemption. With commercial, you don't have to have one, okay? With
And-
land, you don't have to have one.
Right.
So residential, you have to have one. And so, quick mention again, if it's not there, I would probably throw in the special steps contingent on satisfactory viewing of property condition disclosure, okay? Or just, you know, beat the agent up a little bit first, trying to get it before you have to put that on there. Disclaimer, you're stating what you are not licensed or accredited in, to make sure that any overstatements of your words, you know, are cut back right here, but don't overspeak.
Can I say something right there?
Yes.
Yesterday, I went to, speak with a gentleman who bought a piece of property who did not have a survey. And he was obviously upset about it, was, you know, actually threatening some legalities in that situation. But at the end of the day, that disclaimer, he did sign a disclaimer. An agent did tell him that you have rights to a survey if you choose to. He thought he could save a few bucks. And because he signed that disclaimer, we all know that if that ends up in a situation, he would be liable. And so like Duke said, you know, you could have an agent walk out there and act like they know what they're talking about, and those people may actually buy that. But at the end of the day, these buyers and sellers are signing these disclaimers, which really and truly is taking the monkey off your back and putting the weight of liability on the buyer or on the seller. So it's not nonsense. It's very important that you understand that that disclaimer is telling them very directly, I don't do home inspections. I don't do boundary lines. I don't know who lives in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I can advise you to those people, but that's not what you're hiring me to do. You're hiring me to help you purchase this home or market and sell a home.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very important. These things will keep you out of trouble if you understand them.
That one right there is hard for me because you know, you get asked questions and I know the answer to.
Yeah.
But I've got to not answer them, you know, and I've got to, let people know that I'm not qualified to do that anymore, because I've had questions come up about walls in the house before, you know, moving this, or can I do this, can I do that? Well, you need to, I just tell them to check with their local codes department, you know.
Well-
I had that happen several times down there in Murfreesboro, and they asked me, you know, I knew the answer to every question that they asked, but I was very careful, and one of the videos that when we went through our training, they told us to ask questions, you know, kind of stay back and ask questions and do that, and just kind of let them do their own thing, but be very careful how you answer. So that's helped me a lot already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to use wisdom. I'm okay for my clients to pull from my investment experience as far as, you know, the different things, I've touched and had laid hands on. But you know, what comes to mind is, you know, they were astonished at Jesus' doctrine because he taught as one having authority. We can't speak like that on these other things. We can speak to them and we can share some thoughts and opinions, but we need to make sure they understand their thoughts and opinions. And then go ahead and say that, you know, but you need to check, and just, the only way you really know is if you had a survey come out, surveyor come out, or, you know, the only way you know for sure is have a contractor come out or this or that, okay? So don't speak with authority on them, but you can pull off, I mean, that's a perk. I prefer having you if I'm going to look at an old house versus, you know,
Yep.
somebody else.
Yep.
And so you can use some of that to be a blessing to your client, but it's just the way you speak about it
Use
and the way you
wisdom.
disclose it is important.
Mm.
Then the purchase and sales, guys, and remember, I think this is it helped me when I started. If you tab through that, then, you're gonna see line by line, you're gonna start being more familiar with where things are at within the purchase and sales, and then you're not gonna miss a row. You're gonna see every little place that it stops that you could fill in, and you can ask yourself, do I need to fill that in? Okay? And if you don't know, ask somebody else that knows. And then wire fraud warning, we are never to be involved with sending wiring instructions to our clients, okay? That's the part that they initial, it says, never receive wiring instructions from your agent or your broker, okay? They initial that part, and then there's a sign at the bottom.
So we're not
But,
supposed to even send the authority title link then, right?
No, authorities shouldn't send it to us, they ought to know that too.
No, it's not, wiring instructions is not a link to a website, that's totally different.
Yeah, we're putting them in touch with the website where they can send it, and where they can click through to do it.
Yeah, we're not
But,
giving them account
Wiring
numbers,
instructions
not
would be
to.
account numbers that
Yeah.
the money's gonna go to and things like that. It's literally telling the money where to go, and we aren't to be involved in that. Okay? And then again, if lead-based paint was here, it should be in front of this because it's something, again, that's important about the house that they're about to offer on, okay? So once you get all this done, I save it because crazy things can happen. And if you went through and you've marked up every bit of this, which is not what this class is about, but you got all this marked up and set up and ready to go, and something happens between hitting next, or there's a glitch when you hit next, which is a rare thing, but it takes me 2 seconds to click save. That way I would come back and it's here, okay? And so hit next. Oh, see, I didn't put a sign in here, so there you go. All right. Send. And it's not bad practice to send something to yourself. That way, if you need to explain to your client what it's going to look like and what they got to do, okay? You won't need to do that too many times, but so I go over here. There it is. And so that's what it looked like. Your signature is requested. It's got the address. Come down here, start signing. So you get an email that says your signature is requested. Click on start signing. And then once you do that, it's gonna have you verify your name, which I've already, signed contracts to Woody Investor, so. And then you can scroll down to the contract, and then when you're ready to sign, you hit start, and it'll start bouncing you to the signings. You click on where the box is, and that's you signing electronically. See, these are ones that must have auto-filled for me, because I didn't put them in. And then make sure when you're done, hit complete signing, and that's it, that's a little talk you can give them, and, we'll take care of that. Done. So, but the neat thing, guys, and while you do that, is you go back in, now you see this, alright? But you go back to the contract, there it is, you got all those docs, like this multiple offer disclosure this morning, at 7-something early this morning, when my laptop was dead, I come here and I click on purchase and sales, I made an adjustment to 2 things, and I added the septic doc to it, send it out for signing, okay? And it's all right there. So, any questions?